Now, the police have recorded a statement from parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa regarding the incident where an individual set himself ablaze opposite the United National Party's head office. Police media spokesperson SP Prashant Jayakuri said that officials from the Mirihana police who arrived at the UNP head office this morning recorded a statement from the parliamentarian. It was on the 26th of July that an individual named Riansi Algama, a UNP member, set himself ablaze. Now, moving on to more local stories, Minister of Fisheries, Dr. Raja Senaratne, says that securing the country is much more important than securing the party. The minister expressed this view while attending a function in the Panathur area.
A community hall and a children's park built in the Venkale area in Panathur was declared open by Minister Raja Senaratne yesterday. The country cannot be developed while engaged in all the possible dirty work. Everything cannot be done targeting the election. There is no point in giving us only ministerial posts. There must be a country left when we are gone. That is why we say that there is no point in the party. DS Saranaka visited Kandale amidst various hardships to build the country and not to just talk.
The second Randoli Perahara of the Kandy Asala Festival paraded the streets last evening at the auspicious time of 7:40 p.m.
The Randoli Perahara began its journey subsequent to the Devad Nilame, placing the sacred casket on the tusker in the Raja. The Perahara, which travelled along the Dalada Vidya, Saranaka Vidya, Colombo Vidya and Yatinura Vidya, re-entered the temple via Raja Vidya. The tusker in the Raja was flanked by tuskers Burma Raja and Mian Raja in the second Randoli Perahara.
Meanwhile, the third Randoli Perahara of the Kandy Asala Festival is currently parading the streets. Now, history depicts that the sacred tooth relic, which was hidden in Polonnaru, was thereafter concealed in Kotmale. This was done as the monks were seeking to protect the sacred tooth relic when the country was invaded by Maga from Kerala. According to the Chulavansha, this occurred during the reign of King Parakrama Bandhu between 1212 and 1215 BC. Today we take a look at this chapter of the historical journey of the sacred tooth relic.
Folklore suggests that before the sacred tooth relic was placed at the Kotmale Supulpiti Viharya, Sugala Devi ran away with the relic but was eventually captured in the Athimale area in Munragala. The sacred tooth relic, which was placed in the Supulpiti Viharya, was then ceremoniously taken to Dambadanya. Thereafter, the sacred tooth relic was moved to Yapahua. The spectre of the Buddha was manifest near the three-storied Dalada Madura and it performed miracles for 7 hours. Since then, the Dalada Perahara is held to commemorate this event.
ඉතින් අපේ මුතු මිත්තු රජදරුව දළදා වහන්සේට පුදු විදිහේ සත්කාරයක් ගෞරවයක් දැක්වී
The century jubilee ceremony of the Church of Our Lady of Snows in Periyamulla Negambo was held today. The event was presided by His Grace, the Archbishop, Most Reverend Dr. Malcolm Ranjit.
Parallel to the event, a statue of His Excellency, the First National Archbishop and First Cardinal, His Eminence Thomas Benjamin Cardinal Kure, who was born in the Periyamulla village, was unveiled. The Most Reverend Dr. Marius Piris presided at the evening Holy Mass that was held yesterday at 7 p.m. A large gathering of members of the clergy and devotees were present at the occasion.
And now Shasta Lenage joins us with the very latest from the Australian elections.
Welcome to the News First International Desk. Suspense continues to grip the Australian elections as the country appears to be heading for a hung parliament as it looks increasingly likely that independent candidates will hold the balance of power after the final result is known. Neither of the two main rivals are likely to win the 76 seats needed for the outright majority. ABC Australia is predicting 73 seats for the opposition coalition and 72 for ruling Labor.
That is concerned, definitely.
Well, it's interesting times. It's interesting. I don't think we had a hung parliament since the war.
Opposition leader Tony Abbott said it was clear that Labor had lost its parliamentary majority and its legitimacy.
The Liberal and National parties are back in business. We stand ready to govern, and we stand ready to offer the Australian people stable, predictable and competent government.
The election comes 2 months after Gillard ousted Kevin Rudd in a controversial leadership challenge. With 78% of votes counted, Labor has 70 seats and Abbott's Liberal National Coalition has 72, according to national broadcaster ABC. A handful of MPs may well hold the balance of power after the final result is known. ABC Australia is predicting 1 seat for the Greens and 4 independents. They will try to get the best deal they can for their constituencies, and there may well be some pork barrel politics over the next few days as Gillard and Abbott try to gather some loose coalition or arrangement that will give them power. 2 independents, Rob Oakeshott and Tony Windsor, said they would side with the party most able to provide stable government, according to the Associated Press. Initial counting had given Labor a marginal lead over Abbott's coalition, but other results suggested heavy swings against Labor, in particular in the key states of Queensland and New South Wales.
Obviously, this is too close to call. There are many seats where the result is undecided. In these days, as the election result is being determined, the conventions of our wonderful democracy ensure that I will continue to lead the government and provide strong and stable government until the outcome of the election is clearly known.
Voting is compulsory in Australia with 14 million registered voters. Correspondents say Abbott has tried to exploit the Labor Party's divisions after the departure of Rudd, trying to portray his coalition as a stable answer to a government beset by infighting.
On the Sunday morning after the election, we are facing a hung parliament at the moment. There are 2 or 3 seats still in play, but it's a very outside chance that the Liberal National Party coalition will win power outright. It's the first time that a sitting government has lost or nearly lost the government after 1 term. A lot of firsts are being done at the moment, and we are facing some interesting times. One of the firsts that that's sort of humorous is that we've got the youngest MP in our history, 20 years old, the chap in Queensland, has won his seat. He's a sort of Bieber lookalike, and if he attracts the fans like Bieber does, well, he's set for the next 30 years in Parliament, I'd say. So we live in interesting times.
Look, this is a real possibility that this could take several days to decide who the next government will be. As far as legislation goes, the next government is going to have a real struggle getting any agenda through because they're going to have to negotiate with independents in the lower house, and they now face a Green-dominated upper house from July next year. So that's going to put a handbrake on any of their policies and make it very difficult for the government to get their agenda through the way they want.
Well, in the latest developments we have received here at News First, Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard has held initial talks with independent candidates to try to form a government after an inconclusive election. Gillard had said that she would continue to provide stable government as final votes are being counted. She acknowledged that neither her Labor Party nor the opposition Conservative coalition was likely to win the 76 seats needed for an outright win. Do stay with us as we keep you posted on all the developments in this regard. And with that, we go in for a short commercial break. We'll be right back with Keisha Leach.